Have you ever paused to wonder, can I trust every thought that pops into my head? What if some of those thoughts, the ones that make you doubt yourself, stress about the future, or replay old wounds, aren't as true as they seem? Today, I'll share an incredible Buddha tale that unveils 5 sneaky ways your mind lies to you, and I'll arm you with powerful mindfulness tips to reclaim your peace. Stick with me, because at the end of this story, you'll have not only a deeper understanding of your mind, but also practical ways to navigate it, just like the Buddha taught his followers. Once upon a time, in the quiet hills of northern India, there was a young monk named Kavi. He lived in a serene monastery surrounded by lush forests and flowing rivers, yet Kavi struggled with a restless mind. He meditated daily, but his thoughts constantly betrayed him, pulling him into cycles of doubt, fear, and frustration. One day, Kavi approached the wise Buddha and confessed, "Master, my mind feels like a deceitful snake. It whispers lies, but I can't tell truth from illusion. How can I find peace?" The Buddha looked at Kavi with compassionate eyes and said, "Your mind indeed plays tricks on you. Let me guide you through the 5 ways it deceives and teach you how to overcome them." Kavi nodded eagerly, and the Buddha began. 1. The mirage of perfection. Your mind often lies by making you believe you need to be perfect, the Buddha said. Kavi furrowed his brow. But isn't striving for perfection a good thing? The Buddha smiled. It is not perfection but progress that brings peace. Imagine this. A traveler crossing a desert sees a shimmering lake in the distance. Desperate, he runs toward it, only to discover it's a mirage. Similarly, your mind creates an illusion that perfection is attainable. You chase it endlessly, never satisfied, always thirsty. The young monk asked, "How can I stop chasing this mirage?" "Practice self-compassion," the Buddha replied. "Every day, recognize your efforts. When your mind says you're not enough, respond gently. I am enough just as I am. Celebrate progress, not perfection." Mindfulness tip. Begin a gratitude journal. A gratitude. Each evening, write down 3 small things you did well that day. This practice will train your mind to focus on growth rather than unattainable ideals. 2. The trap of comparison. Next, the Buddha said, "Your mind deceives you by comparing your journey to others. This is the trap of comparison." Kavi's face fell. "That's exactly how I feel. When I see other monks meditating for hours without struggle, I feel like a failure." The Buddha picked up a handful of sand and let it slip through his fingers. "Every grain falls at its own pace. Comparing one grain to another is pointless, for they all reach the earth eventually." Kavi nodded, understanding. "But how do I stop comparing?" "Be present," the Buddha instructed. "Comparison thrives in the absence of mindfulness. When you meditate, focus solely on your breath, your sensations, your experience. The moment you notice your mind wandering to others, bring it gently back." Mindfulness tip. During moments of comparison, repeat this mantra: "My path is my own. I am exactly where I need to be." 3. The shadow of past regrets. The third lie of the mind, the Buddha continued, is clinging to past regrets. Kavi's shoulders slumped. "I often replay mistakes I've made, wishing I could change them. The guilt feels like a heavy stone in my heart." The Buddha placed a pebble in Kavi's palm. "Hold this stone tightly and tell me how it feels." "It's uncomfortable," Kavi admitted. "Now let it go," the Buddha instructed. Kavi released the pebble, and his hand felt free. "The past is like this stone," the Buddha explained. "The longer you hold on to it, the more it weighs you down. Forgiveness of yourself and others is the act of letting go." "But what if the pain is too great to forgive?" Kavi asked, tears brimming in his eyes. "Begin with a small step," the Buddha advised. "Close your eyes, take a deep breath and say, 'I release this pain, even if just for now.' Over time, forgiveness will grow." Mindfulness tip. Practice a 5-minute forgiveness meditation daily. Imagine the regret as a heavy stone in your hand. Visualize yourself gently placing it down and walking away, lighter with each step. 4. The fear of the future. The Buddha continued, "Your mind lies by planting fear of the future." Kavi sighed deeply. I often worry about what's to come. Will I succeed? Will I fail? These thoughts consume me. The Buddha gestured to the river beside them. Fear of the future is like trying to cross this river before reaching its banks. You waste your energy worrying about challenges that may never come. Kavi tilted his head. But how do I stop my mind from worrying? Anchor yourself in the present, the Buddha said. When fear arises, remind yourself, I am here now. Your breath is a powerful anchor. Focus on it, and the river of fear will subside. Mindfulness. Tip. Whenever you catch yourself worrying, pause and take 3 deep breaths. With each exhale, say, I release the future. This simple practice brings you back to the now. 5. The illusion of control. Finally, the Buddha said, the greatest lie your mind tells you is that you can control everything. Kavi frowned. But if I don't try to control things, won't everything fall apart? The Buddha chuckled softly. Imagine trying to hold the wind in your fist. The tighter you grip, the more elusive it becomes. True peace comes not from control, but from acceptance. Kavi hesitated. But isn't acceptance the same as giving up? Not at all, the Buddha replied. Acceptance is understanding what you can and cannot change. When you accept, you free your energy to focus on what truly matters. Mindfulness tip. At the end of each day, reflect on what's within your control and what isn't. Write down one thing you choose to let go of and feel the release as you set it aside. Over the following weeks, Kavi practiced the Buddha's teachings. He reminded himself that perfection was a mirage, celebrated his unique journey, forgave his past, anchored himself in the present, and embraced acceptance. Slowly, his mind felt less like a deceitful snake and more like a calm, flowing stream. One day, Kavi approached the Buddha, his face radiant with peace. Master, my mind still wanders, but now I see its tricks. I no longer believe every lie it tells. The Buddha smiled. You have learned well, Kavi. Remember, mindfulness is not about controlling the mind, but understanding it. With understanding comes freedom. Your mind, like Kavi's, will try to deceive you. It will create mirages of perfection, compare your journey to others, drag you into past regrets, fuel fears of the future, and trick you into chasing control. But with mindfulness, you can see through these illusions and reclaim your peace. So now, ask yourself, which of these lies is your mind telling you? Take the first step today. Whether it's journaling your progress, practicing forgiveness, or anchoring yourself in the present moment, each action leads to freedom. And remember, the path to mindfulness isn't about silencing the mind. It's about learning to walk beside it with wisdom and compassion. Thank you for watching. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more mindfulness tales.